All right, now it's time to talk about Pulsara, something that we're really excited about. I know a lot of you have heard about it. Some have actually had the chance to use it out in the CME catchment area, but want to walk through the platform, why we're incorporating it, and what we hope it will accomplish. So the purpose is to improve communication between field clinicians and base hospitals. So we're hoping that using Pulsara will improve the accuracy and timeliness of patient care throughout their course, from incident location through to the hospital. The implementation started. We started with the pilot out in the CME catchment area. We're hoping to do a limited system rollout here starting June 1st, and we plan to expand as additional agencies and facilities come online. So you're definitely part of this process. So your input and your feedback is really important as we start to use Pulsara more and try to leverage all of its capabilities. Pulsara really allows us to take that next step from sort of our traditional communication platforms and now have an opportunity to include some images and direct feedback and ultimately improve communication. So our first step is going to be with STEMI, and we're going to transmit EKGs from the field to the STEMI receiving centers. So currently 3 are online: Community Memorial, Los Robles, and Adventist Health Simi Valley. St. John's is not online at this time, but we're hoping to get them on soon. So the Pulsara alert, as we'll walk through, we'll show you how we have a training video and we'll walk through all the individual steps. But the Pulsara alert will replace the heads up call that we've been doing for a little while now. And base hospital contact will still need to occur after the Pulsara alert is sent, but at least that heads up call that you've been doing will be replaced by the Pulsara alert. And we're hoping to start with STEMI, but there are certainly additional workflows that we think the Pulsara will be beneficial to. So that's coming in the future, hopefully. So how will this help my STEMI patient? So we have a list there. You can see that it will hopefully expedite the identification of STEMIs, but also reduce false positives and maybe catch some false negatives. And the whole goal is to facilitate that expedited care for that STEMI patient, to shave minutes off and hopefully get them to the cath lab and have the intervention done as soon as possible. Here's a link to a real-world example. You see that hyperlink on the right side here that shows a real-world example of how a facility was able to utilize Pulsara in collaboration with their EMS providers to improve the care of STEMI patients. And there's certainly a burden to false positive STEMIs. Just a quick note on that. So it's difficult for the cath labs. They have to respond to the hospitals. There's also the risk to the patient responding code 3, increased costs overall of being a potential STEMI patient. So accuracy is important, and that's one of the reasons why we want to get those EKGs in front of the folks that are going to be making the decisions. Here's that training video I promised. So click on that hyperlink, and Bet from Pulsara will walk you through how to send a Pulsara alert. The basic process is you log in, you create a new patient, you put in the basic demographics. You can also take a photo of their ID, which will import all of the demographics. You take an EKG, picture of the EKG, and then you select the patient type, which would be STEMI, and then you press alert. And once the hospital acknowledges the alert, it'll pop up on your phone that they've acknowledged it. I went from start to finish, so log in, putting in more demographics than certainly you would need to, including the chief complaint. All of it took me less than a minute to get that alert sent. So it's a pretty quick process. So let me answer some basic questions. Hopefully you've watched that training video and I can answer some questions that you may have. I'm sure more will come up, and as we launch Pulsara and start to utilize it more, there will be more questions, and we really want to hear that from you, and we'll address those. So one question that we get pretty quickly is, can I send other information? And of course, there may be other EKGs, look really concerning story, but they're not popping up as STEMI. Follow that same workflow, but you would select a general, probably, rather. If it's not a STEMI, you want to select a general patient type. And when you call the base, let them know, hey, I'm sending this Pulsara alert. They will likely acknowledge it. The alert should go off. It's hard to miss. If you've been in any of the hospitals when they get an alert, it's quite loud. But they should acknowledge it. But when you're making base contact, you want to, at least if you're sending information through Pulsara, you want to give them a heads up just to ensure that communication is a closed loop. So what if you're diverted? So if you're diverted to CMH, Los Robles, or Adventist Health, you can change the destination. I have another hyperlink that shows how to do it. This blue hyperlink here, it's pretty quick. You could probably figure it out on your own just by playing around in the app. But this video shows you exactly how to do it. If you're diverted to St. John's at this time, you'll just cancel the case, and then the base hospital will notify them of your impending arrival, just as through our normal workflow. But hopefully, in the near future, they'll be online too, and this will be the same workflow for all of our STEMI receiving centers. So, what if there's an error, you can't log in, etc.? Something pops up real time. So the focus is still patient care. So follow your traditional base hospital communication policies, your typical 705s. Just care as usual. If you have a problem real time with Pulsara, and then let us know, and we'll troubleshoot on the back end, make sure there's not a larger problem. So that's our basic introduction of Pulsara. Just to reiterate that it's an application that will allow us to improve our base hospital communication and allows us to send data, including pictures, EKGs, and then hopefully in the future we'll be able to expand it and hopefully get some of that information, flowing in the other direction. So you're receiving feedback from the facilities through Pulsara. So there's a lot of opportunity with it. We're excited about it. So we really, you're a big partner in this process. So please let us know how it's going and questions, concerns, and we'll address those. Thank you.